Hey Liv, think fast.
Perfect control and pure skill blend into a satisfying flow of motion that turns everyday work into moments you can't stop watching. The bog is pushed back into open water each year to prevent blockages and maintain safe navigation for local boats. Precision cutting redirects the tower's balance and the giant frame settles into a flawless engineered fall. With 956 HP and a low engine RPM concept, the machine slices through the crop smoothly while consuming less fuel and maximizing uptime. The lapping process polishes the copper block to mirror flatness, ensuring maximum conduction efficiency for high-powered chips. Lavender is gathered at full bloom to produce pure essential oils used in aromatherapy and natural wellness. Extreme pressure forces the grains to cold bond, producing a high-density form widely used in powder metallurgy manufacturing. The cutter separates the stacked steel into uniform pieces ready for precise hydraulic forming. Continuous rotation captures each bottle and flips it into uniform orientation for high-speed production lines. The WB750 strips weeds from hard surfaces with controlled pressure, keeping industrial yards and pathways clean and safe.
Hey Liv, think fast. Okay.
Clean cuts and uniform sealing connect the panels into a tight, durable roof ready to handle sun and heavy rain. High-torque rollers grip the steel and shape it into precise, repeatable loops ready for beams and column cages. Viscous polymer wets out the reinforcement fibers, bonding them into a lightweight, high-stiffness FRP layer. The MD500 guides the aerial saw along the tree line, cutting high branches cleanly to keep power corridors safe and clear. Rotating claws break open the bale and lay a clean, even straw layer for bedding and livestock comfort. Rolling the engraved cylinder lays down a clean gold imprint, revealing every fine line of the traditional pattern. Hot sealant flows to the applicator head, filling the pavement joint in a clean, controlled strip that locks out water and future damage. Molten paint pours into the guide box and sets fast on contact, renewing the faded line with crisp definition. High-torque diggers pull the entire root system upward, exposing intact peanut pods for efficient drying and harvest flow. Bobbin threads cross and twist in steady rhythm, forming delicate lace patterns built from pure hand control. Carbide tool feeds along the bar to carve wide trapezoidal grooves, forming a load-bearing ACME thread with clean geometry. Water flow testing confirms the gutter line is clear, ensuring rainfall drains safely away from the property. Steady sweeps of the spray gun build an even film, delivering a fast, clean finish for interior renovation. Skilled hands align the bamboo cores and trim each stick precisely, keeping every incense length perfectly uniform. How long did he take him to master that? Because that's just insanely cool. Reflective film settles onto the window surface, cutting harsh sunlight and improving energy efficiency indoors. DIY woodworking opens space for clean, custom builds that turn simple lumber into unique pieces for home or workshop. Hot steam lifts algae and grime from the stone surface, revealing a clean, restored wall without damaging the masonry. Rotating brush powered by the drill sweeps tender greens cleanly into the bin, speeding up small-scale harvesting. Open center design reduces drag and increases precision, helping gardeners clear rows with minimal effort. Heavy-duty discs churn through the field, cutting residue and loosening soil to speed up post-plow preparation. Combine header cuts the grain cleanly while the rotor threshes and sends kernels into the trailer in one nonstop flow. Precise cuts sculpt the hedge section by section, restoring symmetry and a polished look to the landscape. Guided dispenser controls tape tension, leaving a flawless masking line ready for detailed painting work. Precise adjustments level each tile, building a neat finish that defines the whole construction. Hand-piped Christmas magic taking shape one swirl at a time. Traditional forging meets pure precision, turning raw steel into perfect working edges. Grinding clears the head corroded, drilling opens a clean center, extractor bites deep, and pulls the frozen screw straight out with flawless control. Color settles perfectly on the surface, revealing a clean, polished transformation. Smooth trowel strokes fill each brick joint with tight, clean mortar, locking the wall back into perfect alignment. Smooth motion, clean results, and a satisfied finish that keeps you wanting more. Stay tuned for the next perfect moment.
I can't remember the very first time I met Ryan.
The kind of encounter that's supposed to be memorable often isn't. In hindsight, so many other details blur around it. The sounds, the smells, the people passing by. But I remember vividly the first time I saw Hannah. That memory sticks like a photograph, sharp enough to feel almost tactile. I imagine zooming in on her face in my mind, trying to turn it from a distant image into something real, something tangible. Ryan had ethics at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. I had seen him in passing a few times before. Small nods, holding doors, occasional points of acknowledgement in class, but nothing that stuck. That morning I wandered into the library cafe looking for a free table, and there he was. Surrounded by textbooks and scattered notes, a single chair opposite him was empty. "Mind if I sit here?" I asked, trying to sound casual. My fingers trembled against the strap of my bag. "Sure," he said, sliding a few books aside. "You're in ethics, right?" "Yes," I replied. "I'm behind on the assignment," he confessed, half smiling. "I can't seem to catch up." "Me too," I said, though mine was actually finished a week ago. I hadn't told him that, of course. The course was easy enough when nothing else was competing for my attention. Ryan, however, looked like he had a million other things on his mind. "Looks like we're both screwed," I said. He laughed, warmly, openly, as if he'd known I'd say it all along. The cafe was a uniform shade of pale brown, dull and quiet, the kind of place where sunlight feels like it belongs somewhere else. He pointed out the stains on tables and the dim walls, and we mocked the beige monotony of the rest of campus. He joked that tuition felt wasted, and I agreed. I learned he planned to apply for a master's program in a bigger city after graduation. This had been his second choice. I imagined him as the golden boy in high school, popular, charismatic, teacher's favorite, maybe class president. We stayed there, talking. It felt effortless, natural. Eventually I mentioned I was hungry, and he invited me over for dinner. Trust me, I'm a good cook. Not just pasta with pesto. I have a real repertoire. "Don't worry," I said. "My standards are low." I couldn't cook anything myself, so judging anyone else was meaningless. Ryan's eyes brightened. "You should watch me cook. You might learn something new." "Okay," I said. He made noodles with a sauce I would never have thought to make myself. I stood behind him, watching his hands move deftly over pans, chopping vegetables, stirring, tossing ingredients with wide sweeping gestures. He had long arms, broad shoulders, and a small, dark birthmark on the back of his neck. Every motion seemed alive, reckless yet precise, as if every act was charged with energy. We ate on his bedroom floor, sitting close together. I noticed the faint scent of the apple he'd eaten earlier. I felt warm, safe, cocooned. Then suddenly he leaned in, kissing me. This was happening, I thought. My hand cupped the back of his neck. His skin was soft and warm. Then he pulled back. "There's something I should probably tell you," he said, voice low. I smiled, still holding him. "What?" I whispered. "I have a girlfriend." I realized I had vaguely known. He'd mentioned her once. Had I conveniently buried that memory or assumed they'd broken up? I wasn't sure. Ryan had met Hannah in high school. They'd been together since 16, now attending universities 2 hours apart. They visited occasionally, though irregularly. She was busy with multiple societies, played competitive soccer, and traveled frequently. They celebrated their 4-year anniversary in Amsterdam a few months ago. Most of this information came from Hannah's Instagram. Ryan's account was empty, but her tagged photos revealed everything. Her smiling at him, confident and poised. I became obsessed with her updates. Each morning I would check her profile first, before opening anything else. Typing H would bring her up immediately. She posted often enough to affirm her life existed beyond him, but never enough to satisfy him. Hannah belonged to a certain type of confident girl. Others hid vanity behind irony. She simply posted photos of herself, unapologetic. Her makeup was intentional but subtle. Winged eyeliner, colorful lids, lightly bronzed cheeks. Her smile was simple, direct, and disarming. She posted photos with Ryan, but always interspersed with friends, games, vacations, parties, proof that she had a life outside him. Ryan told me she was his first. I was his second. We developed a routine. He cooked, we ate, we became intimate. I loved the closeness, the sense of joy that came with it. He told me I was the only person aside from Hannah whose company he missed. Hearing that, I glowed. "What's your relationship history?" he asked. "I've dated a little, nothing serious," I said, holding back. Truth, at 16, I had one serious experience online, which turned awkward in person, then ended abruptly. I still felt ashamed recalling it. With Ryan, I became cliché, smiling endlessly, stomach light, drawn physically toward him. Unlike my first love, where online intensity evaporated in person, physical closeness with Ryan was thrilling. Yet I often wished for more, a deeper intimacy. Things changed when he slowed his text responses over a weekend. Hours of silence, then short replies like LOL or OK. I lost my appetite completely. Sunday, I walked past his street not expecting anything. I heard a female voice, low, uneven. Hannah. I froze. Through a gap in the fence, I glimpsed her blonde hair, her red coat. She was leaving, probably catching a train. Ryan said, "You too." My mind raced. What did she say? Goodbye? I love you? Casual? I didn't hear from him until Monday afternoon. That evening, he greeted me normally. Sitting on his bed, he said, "Okay, I think we shouldn't see each other anymore." He explained carefully, staring at the floor. He liked me, but didn't want to hurt Hannah. I asked if he had told her about me. "I'm going to," he said. "She's going through a rough time." Back at my dorm, I spiraled into obsession, tracking Hannah's profile, her updates, her friends, her matches, her life outside Ryan. It all consumed me. I traced her connections through friends, realizing the world was intricately linked. She and I were 1 degree apart, through Ryan, but any chain could lead there. During reading week, my roommates went home. I stayed, finishing work, cooking dishes Ryan had taught me. One day I saw him near the student union, smiling casually. My stomach dropped. I realized our invisible relationship had been real to me alone. Later, I followed Hannah to a soccer practice. I didn't know which blonde she was, so I observed from afar. A teammate introduced me as Samantha, claiming I had missed tryouts. Hannah, alert and commanding, guided me through her group. She picked out clothes, did my makeup, and I felt part of her world. That night after the club, I lay on her floor, observing her habits, reading her notes, feeling obsessive curiosity. I realized obsession only leads back to oneself. On my way home, I reflected. Ryan moved decisively in the kitchen. Hannah orchestrated her friends on the field, both leaders. Me? A follower. A parasite. I slept 12 hours straight, woke to rain-slicked streets. I felt oddly calm, knowing that I had learned something, lessons I couldn't articulate yet. Opening my laptop, I searched for the university women's soccer team for beginners, ready to immerse myself in a world still tied to Hannah, but independently.
Perfect worker.